Hi, everybody. This is a Health Heroes interview on Kate's VIP group and Arbonne International Independent Consultant page. And so, as you may know, I love to meet people who are to do with well-being and health and interview them and have them share their tips with you. And so today I'm joined by the wonderful Natasha Moore, or Tash Moore, who is an employment solicitor actually with Woodfine Solicitors in Bedford. And she has another hat as well. Like me, I've got multiple hats. We know each other through the Athena network. However, she also has a health and wellbeing hat because she's a personal trainer in her other job as well. So, hi, Natasha.
Hello.
Good to see you. So, I'm going to start right up top with how did you get into personal training? Like, what came first, law, personal training?
So law came first. Well, sort of. I When I was younger, so I'm talking sort of 17, 18, I was quite a lot bigger than what I am now. And my friend at the time, she joined Slimming World. And this was when I kind of realized that I'd got quite a competitive streak in me, and I didn't know I'd got it. Because I thought, no, I'm not having her go and lose lots of weight and I'm still going to be big. So anyway, long story short, we joined Slimming World. I lost the bulk of my weight with Slimming World. And then I was going to a gym class with my cousin at the time, Body Jam, which was like a dance aerobics class. And it was one of those kind of things where I would only go if my cousin was going. So it was a confidence thing more than anything. In the end, she kept letting me down. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to grab the ball by the horns and I'm going. And I did, and I didn't look back. I started doing body combats, which are all the Les Mills classes, body pump. And then I found who is now one of my best friends, Nathan, who was a PT at the time at Flitwick. And I started PTing with him. And I went from a size 20 to a size, well, I'm now an 8 to 10. And I lost the rest of my weight thereafter. So from there, I then trained as a level 2 fitness instructor. So I was doing aerobics. So I went on a training course for that. And then I thought, right, let's get into this a little bit further. I really got, hooked on the adrenaline of working out. And I trained as a body combat instructor. And that's one of my absolute favorite classes. And I still teach that today. And then I did body jam and I also did body pump. So I became an instructor in all three of those, whilst sort of juggling young children and the law because I was studying at the time as well. And it was only really during COVID that I really sort of got into my nutrition. I've kind of always been into my nutrition, but more so into my nutrition, into my fitness, into weight training. And I said to my PT, I said, what do you think? Do you think I should train as a PT? And he said 100%. So that's how I kind of really got into it. But it was more my personal journey that got me to where I am, and well-being and looking after your body from the inside out, really. So yeah, that's and law kind of fell in along the way, but it's one extreme to the other, really. Sacking people by day to punching people. Well, not really. Why not?
I love that. Do you want me to edit that out? No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
You've got to have some humour with both those topics, haven't you? And I've got a huge thank you to give you because you're not my Arbonne customer, but you know Arbonne products, and you always surprise me. Well, not always, but because you don't. Obviously, in networking, we advise people to not be repetitive and always say the same thing. So every now and then, you will give a big testimonial for the products from your perspective, personally and professionally, which is so wonderful because I don't, pay you to do that, which is fantastic. That's the essence of word of mouth, isn't it? So I'm really pleased you love that you use these sports supplements, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. So I use quite a lot actually. I use the protein, I use the hydration, um, I do the body cleanse once a month. I tried recently actually the pre-workout, which I quite like because I don't do normal pre-workout because obviously it's got caffeine in it, and yeah, I don't like any of that, speeding up the heart rate. So yeah, I've used quite a lot of it. It's great stuff. I love it.
I love that. Thank you so much. And then if you had to, I guess, so we were talking about the new year. If, someone might be watching this in July. So just so you know, we've recorded this in December. We're a couple of weeks from Christmas. We just spoke about offline about coming into January and how we're going to, from our business's perspective, but also health perspective, kick off January. So how do you support people through your business now? So who's your ideal person you work with, and what's that journey?
Yeah, so my niche area, I'm going to have to say, is body transformations, because I've been through that journey myself, and I'm a massive believer of anything being possible. And I've been at that stage where, it's daunting going into a gym. I think, I started out with a PT, even some, I still have a PT. I still go to a PT once a week because I think it's somebody to be accountable to and to hold you accountable, and just to keep you on the right track. And I mean, I call my PT my guru, because if there's anything I'm unsure of, because obviously, I'm fairly newly qualified, although I've been weight training 13 years, there are still some things that we learn as we go along. And, Nathan will have learned all of this through practice really, like with lawyers. But yeah, I would say my support for it is more for body transformations, but also something that I'm going to be looking at in the new year, is menopause and training for the menopause, because where I teach classes over in Ampthill, I have to be careful how I word this, being an employment lawyer, but there are women of a certain age, that come to me with issues, and I'm nearly there myself, but come to me with issues and say they're struggling to lose weight and their body shape's changing and they want to get rid of this bit here, and it's putting into place something that can help them, and a program that they can then follow to support, whether that be me guiding them through it or them going off and doing it on their own.
Brilliant. And given that we love talking about tips on these interviews, what would your biggest tip be? I guess take your pick. It could be as you're going into Christmas, or as you're coming out the other side, or just generally, what's the top thing that you love telling people, or advising, or
Um,
encouraging?
I would probably, yeah, I mean, I'd say my top tip would be consistency is key, 100%.
Mm.
And you probably hear a lot of PTs throw that round, but it is so true. It's being consistent with something and making sure that you are accountable. So book yourself into a class. Don't drop out at the last minute. Go, because it will definitely make you feel better, especially for your mental well-being as well. A tip going into Christmas: enjoy yourself. Don't go overboard. But if you feel you've gone overboard, just drink lots of water, because it will
Oh,
help
what
flush
a good
everything out.
tip. Yes.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that old adage, isn't there? It's not an adage, but just a tip. If you're going out as well, it's a pint of water for every glass of prosecco or vodka tonic or whatever it is, isn't it? It's just
yeah,
alternate neck one. Yeah, it makes you feel so much
yeah,
better afterwards. I love that.
yeah,
And
definitely.
then how can people connect with you, find out more? Where do they go? Obviously, I'm
So
going to tag
I haven't,
you in this wherever I
yeah,
see, where. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't got a business page set up yet, as yet. So you can find me on Instagram. My name is Natasha Moore, or it's Tash Mooresy 85, and you're welcome to message me on there. I am also on Facebook under Natasha Moore. I have got some business cards made up for my PT side of things, but of course I'm not in Athena for my PT. But yeah, social media is probably the best way to get me, and then obviously we can go from there, and I can pass on my contact number if need be.
Brilliant. Failing that, people contact me and I will put in touch.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you mentioned the cleanse. It's the 7-day fresh start that I've done recently, which launched a while back. It's this beautiful green box you get. I've got it somewhere with the matcha powder, the golden turmeric protein, and then the Omni Gut capsules for your good bacteria. And I actually really enjoyed that. So I'm going to do that myself in January. So we'll be buddying up and doing a variety of things.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that exercise is key. If people are focusing so much on diet, not dieting, but diet as in what you eat, is focus on the movement as well. So get in touch with Natasha for that for sure. Definitely.
Definitely. And just to add one more thing, you mentioned about diet there. A lot of people think, and again, I was probably a culprit of this, that if you're going to the gym and you're burning off X amount of calories, that you can eat what you want, but it's 80% diet, 20% exercise. Bear that in mind.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like the intrinsic, extrinsic factors, isn't it? That, oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Tash. I'm really pleased to have been able to share what you do and get your tips for this audience and then whoever else gets their eyes on this. But I look forward to seeing you very soon. And thank you everyone for watching. Take care. Thanks, Tash.